Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering paying a ransom may not stop ransomware gangs from leaking stolen data and re-extorting victims, the 5 most notorious organized hacking groups, and how employee error and negligence can compromise your business's cybersecurity. Ransomware groups know that their shady tactics are very effective in targeting larger enterprises. This has resulted in a 31% increase of the average ransom payment in Q3 of 2020, reaching a whopping $233,000, according to research from Coveware. They also warn of occurrences of attackers exfiltrating data and then asking for an additional ransom to delete it. Several different cases have surfaced where ransomware groups have posted stolen data online despite having been paid not to release it or have demanded additional monies later. Ransomware gangs fail to keep their promise to delete stolen data and demand a second extortion payment. Maze, Sekhmet, and Egregor-related ransomware groups posted stolen data on a leak site which hosts and/or advertises stolen data even before the victims were notified that their data was stolen. Revil re-extorted victims for the same stolen data just weeks after the victims had submitted a ransom payment. Mespinosa, or Paisa, and Netwalker, or Mail2, posted stolen data on their leak sites of companies that had already paid the ransom demand. So Dinokibi victims that were paid were re-extorted weeks later with threats to publish the same data set. Conti sent victims fabricated evidence as proof of having deleted the data. Unlike negotiating for a decryption key, negotiating for the suppression of stolen data has no finite end. Once a victim receives a decryption key, it can't be taken away and does not degrade with time. With stolen data, a threat actor can return for a second payment at any point in the future, according to Coveware. The track records are too short and evidence that defaults are selectively occurring is already collecting. Accordingly, we strongly advise all victims of data exfiltration to take the hard but responsible steps. Those include getting the advice of competent privacy attorneys, performing an investigation into what data was taken, and performing the necessary notifications that result from an investigation and counsel. Coveware also found that improperly secured remote desktop protocol connections and compromised RDP credentials were the most common way in for ransomware gangs, followed by phishing and software vulnerabilities. The foothold created by the phishing email or CVE exploit is used to escalate privileges until the attacker can command a domain controller with senior administrative privileges. Once that occurs, the company is fully compromised and data exfiltration plus ransomware are likely to transpire within hours or days, Coveware explains. Companies in every industry can potentially be a target, but hackers seem to prefer those in the professional services industry, healthcare, and the public sector. Companies that have been compromised need to automatically assume that their data has been shared amongst multiple threat actors. It may be leaked in some manner in the future, regardless of whether they paid the hacker's ransom demand. Nowadays, international cybercrime gangs model their operations after legitimate business organizations. Security analysts even claim that they're giving their newer members training utilizing collaboration methods and exercising service agreements with the specialists they hire. Who are the 5 most notorious organized cybercrime gangs? Cobalt Cybercrime Gang. The Cobalt Gang is behind the Carbonic and Cobalt malware attacks that have targeted more than 100 financial institutions in at least 40 countries worldwide. Their hacking campaigns against several banks allowed these hackers to steal more than $11 million per hit and cost the financial industry over $1 billion in total losses. LAZARUS Gang. LAZARUS, which is believed to be from North Korea, was behind many attacks, including the Sony Pictures breach in 2014 and the attack against England's National Health Service through the WannaCry ransomware attack. MAGECART Syndicate. This big e-commerce hacking syndicate, composed of different groups under one umbrella, has become notorious for stealing credit card data. They have developed a software skimming technique that hijacks payment systems on e-commerce sites and records credit card details. Evil Corp. This international cybercrime gang, thought to be based in Russia, uses various malware types to attack different kinds of organizations in Europe and the US while managing to evade arrest for years. Evil Corp is notorious for the insidious Dridex banking Trojan that allowed the cybercrime group to harvest login information from hundreds of banks in 40 different countries. At the height of the Dridex heist, Evil Corp managed to steal an estimated $100 million. GOZNYM Gang. This international hacking outfit is behind GOZNYM Malware, a powerful Trojan hybrid that was created to avoid detection by anti-malware solutions. GOZNYM is a hybrid of the NIMAME and Gauzy malware that sneaks into the victim's computer through malicious email attachments or links. At that point, the malware stays virtually undiscoverable, waiting for the user to log in to a bank account and pounce on account details. Human error can be devastating to your company's cybersecurity. Despite modern security solutions and corporate policies, employees still make many mistakes that lead to data breaches, including sending data to incorrect recipients via email, accidentally emailing docs with private data, publishing classified data on public websites by mistake, and misconfiguring files to allow for unwanted access inadvertently. While the cost of a breach caused by human error or system failure is usually lower than the cost of a breach caused by a hacker or malicious insider, you still shouldn't underestimate the consequences of employee negligence. According to the Ponemon Institute's 2019 Cost of a Data Breach report, the average cost of inadvertent breaches from human error is $3.5 million. According to the report, employee or contractor negligence is the root cause for 24% of data breaches. These human errors are commonly made by insiders who may be compromised by phishing attacks or have their devices infected, lost, or stolen. The average cost of human error resulting from these kinds of cybersecurity incidents is $133 per occurrence, and it takes companies about 242 days on average to identify and resolve any issues. How do hackers pierce a company's human shield? Using weak passwords. Far too many people still allow hackers easy access to accounts by not putting enough effort into creating unique series of characters in their passwords. Ensuring a reliable password policy seems like such a simple thing to do, but unfortunately, we're still seeing far too many cases of easily discovered passwords being exploited. Careless handling of sensitive data. Employees work with a massive amount of data every day, which makes it likely that mistakes due to negligence, tiredness, lack of knowledge about cybersecurity threats, and not understanding the data's value are likely to be made. Other issues that commonly arise include accidentally deleting essential files with sensitive data or security information, sending emails with sensitive data to the wrong recipients, sharing sensitive data with colleagues using secured messengers, using unsecured email attachments when sending sensitive data, and not backing up critical data. Lacking knowledge of basic cybersecurity. Most employees are so focused on their work that they don't show as much regard for security procedures as they need to. During the WannaCry ransomware epidemic, the human factor assumed a significant function in making organizations overall defenseless. While Microsoft had released system updates to close the vulnerability that allowed WannaCry ransomware to propagate to computers, numerous organizations worldwide still hadn't applied the update to their systems. With non-IT staff being the most vulnerable connection, for instance, employees with local admin rights disabled security solutions on their computers and allowed the WannaCry infection to spread from their computer onto the whole corporate network. Employees that aren't educated about major internet security rules can cause a real cybersecurity crisis in your organization. Companies should offer regular training and security updates to all employees periodically. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like SpyHunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. SpyHunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. SpyHunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the SpyHunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. SpyHunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download SpyHunter today. Thanks for watching.